Hello everyone and welcome to another video. My name is Lance and today we're taking a look at some of Bloodborne's cut content that takes place inside the game's Chalice dungeon files. Now if you've been following Bloodborne news in the past months, you're likely aware of a developer map where you can fight an unused final version of the game's Moon Presence boss in a unique lake arena. And this is a great place to start this video. Something I want to point out is the fact that in this arena, rather than a lantern, we see a half-buried warp chair in the ground. And just outside the map is one of the phantoms that sits in the warp chair from the game's alpha. From this we can tell that this map was built back in the game's pre-release days before being cut from the game. However, this arena was not totally abandoned at that point, and was also planned to appear in the final game in another context. And that is in the game's boss rush dungeon effect. So what I'm going to show you now are a number of the game's boss rush maps that never did make it into the final release, but judging by the fact that the developers accidentally included these files in one of the game's post-release updates, it's possible that this was once planned to be a free content update. So here we enter an arena and are immediately met with a fight against Queen Yharnam, although here named Marian Bride. After defeating her, a door at the back of the room is opened and we can proceed to this unique lake arena, this time with another boss immediately to follow. Inside was a fight with the Great One Beast, which is actually a cut enemy I haven't featured on this channel yet, so this gives us a nice excuse to take a look at that too. These maps are literally called, in Japanese katakana, Boss Rush in the game's files. There's no room for translation errors or anything to that effect here. Bloodborne's missing boss rush mode has been a long-standing question with fans of the series ever since it was explicitly mentioned in the game's official strategy guide, including mention of the room that's exclusive to the effect, which is likely this unique lake arena. The fact that the boss rush maps all contain lanterns instead of warp chairs also hints towards them being a very late part of the game's development. There are about 20 boss rush testing maps that can be explored to varying degrees. Each of them contains only 2 bosses. It's impossible to know if there was once a plan to link all these rooms together to create longer chains of boss encounters, as all we have left are these staging areas for testing the encounters. The guide simply mentioning that you would battle a few bosses one after the other suggests that this was probably never fully decided upon. Not all the boss rush maps take place in the unique lake arena. Some are just fairly basic boss rooms linked together by a hallway. In many cases, after defeating a boss, a doorway will open up through which a lantern can be seen ahead, and as the player approaches the lantern, another boss will instantly warp in to interrupt them. Although the lantern does remain and you can simply use it to escape the fight if you like. In that way, a lot of these boss rush maps aren't totally functioning correctly. There are a number of maps where you encounter a non-combatant boss, followed by a fight with a Lauren Dark Beast in the unique lake arena. There are also a lot of encounters with Pthumerian Elder and Pthumerian Descendants, but regardless of which you fight, the boss health bar on screen always says Descendant. The fight with the Marian Bride is often not quite working correctly. She may sometimes die instantly when you arrive in the map. or her move which creates illusions of herself sometimes causes her just to disappear completely. I encountered a bloodletting beast that seemed unable to actually hurt me, and after killing it, the door to the next room didn't open, requiring me to clip through the wall to access it. There was also an amygdala that refused to wake up. I hadn't personally seen one in this sleeping pose before this. Overall, there is a huge variety of these boss rush maps left behind, containing a small selection of the main game's bosses and some of the Chalice dungeon bosses. So while it's hard to know exactly how boss rush mode was once planned to work in the context of the final game, it's nice to see that the developers did make some progress on it. What we see here is likely the same content the authors of the official strategy guide had to go off when they mentioned the boss rush effect, obviously having faith it would be finished in time for the game's final release. With that said, I'm going to leave it at that for now. This is my first video diving into the game's Chalice dungeons, and there are a huge number of developer testing maps in the dungeon files that I'll need to explore in the future. But in the meantime, thank you for watching. As always, I have a lot more to show in the future, so if you haven't already, do hit the subscribe button to keep up with my work here. And if you did enjoy this video, feel free to let me know by hitting the like button or leaving a friendly comment. If you'd like a behind the scenes look at how I make these videos, you can follow me on Twitter at manfightdragon. And either way, thank you for watching, I'll see you next time.